Hello. Hello. Are you there? Yes, I think everybody is here. Hang on. I'm just quitting out of apps that make a ping. Quit out that. Lovely to see you. Great to see everybody arriving. That's lovely. Lovely. So let's just gradually make ourselves comfortable and take a seat in the forest clearing. The time when we can just sit down and rest and just enjoy our company together, chat a little bit, explore a topic, and then dive into a meditation. So the invitation now to you is to tune in and check out how you're feeling. One good an easy kind of checklist is body, feelings, mind. Body, feelings, mind. So you kind of close your eyes, you tune in, say, how's my body feeling? You might get a sense, feeling, and then how's my feelings feeling? How are my emotions? And what's happening mentally? And they may all sort of kind of coalesce in one word, like calm or stress or whatever, or you may have kind of different words. Just see what comes to you. Body, feelings, mind. It's always good to share and hear how other people are feeling. Grounded and inspired, a bit sick, but getting better, which makes me happy. Feeling heavy, tired, a little unsettled. Body tired, feeling exhausted, and mind is tired too. Everything's tired after 12 hours of teaching today. Tight in the throat, anxious, tired, busy in the head. It's good to hear. Quite a lot of tiredness, quite a lot of people with colds and bugs. Worn out but calm. A whole range of emotions and feelings. Wonderful. So, what I wanted to talk about today, just for a little while, is a particular feature of Druidry, which is what Ken Wilber, the American philosopher, talks about as a transpath path. Slightly clunky phrase, or he also suggested metapath. He wasn't talking about Druidry. He was talking about our need now for spiritualities that aren't overly identified with particular paths, but somehow connect to the truth in many paths and are able to unite people. Transpath paths are meta paths. And I think that's a very important concept because I think many of us today somehow feel, even though we might long for the embrace of one teaching, one path that holds us and contains us, often I think many of us find ourselves being inspired by insights, by the beauty and the inspiration from many different paths. So, the Sufi poetry, sacred music from the Christian tradition, Christian art, words of wisdom from every faith, teachings of Buddhism, and so on. And it can take a while to feel comfortable with that, because sometimes we can beat ourselves up for being a dilettante. I'll take a little bit there and a little bit there and a little bit there, but I won't discipline myself and follow in particular path as do the real followers of the way. So we can find ourselves being accused of being dilettantes, of New Age smorgasbording, as someone once put it, and of being superficial in that way. And yet, I think something much more important is going on, and I'd be really interested to hear your feelings about this, because Druidry, I believe, can be a very specific path that you follow to the exclusion of all other spiritual inputs. You follow that just that way. And there's plenty there for you to do that. And I'm not disparaging that whatsoever. But I think it can also be approached as a metapath, which allows you to be syncretic, allows you to include inspirations from other traditions. And in doing that, it's acting in a bit like alchemy. Alchemy is a good example of a transpath path, of a metapath. You can have Sufi alchemy, Christian alchemy, pagan alchemy. Alchemy can be a kind of a way of looking at life, a way of understanding that transcends particular divisions and also includes inspirations from other ways. So in my book, Seek Teachings Everywhere, that's really where I start off. I have an opening chapter on that, about this idea of a meta path and what that really means and what it can mean and the potential in it. And then there's a collection of essays on combinations of Druidry with Jainism and the Dharmic tradition of Jainism and Wicca and so on. This evening, I wanted to share just one idea from one kind of combination that I think works really well. And that is Zen Druidry. I went downstairs and I had a look, and these are the 3 books that I have on Zen Druidry. There you go. These 2 are by Joanna van der Hoeven, and the other one is by John Moore, Jonmwre. Let's home in even more on just one detail, which is a concept that a friend of mine mentioned the other day, which is the Ango retreat. Have you ever heard of the Ango retreat? ANGO. And it's an idea that comes out of Japanese Zen for a short, intense period of spiritual work. And it will often be in the spring or the autumn. And this is why I'm mentioning it, because in the spring and the autumn, which is the time of year we've come to in both hemispheres, actually, spring or autumn. And traditionally, it was a period of 90 days, 3 months, where you would engage in meditation and sort of dedicated special work and study for a period of 3 months. It's been adapted by some schools of Zen so that it can be engaged in for householders, so that you can combine this period of intense training with going to work and running a family, leading a normal family life. And I'd love this idea of a 90-day period. So we could, for instance, in these last few days here, there's been this sense of the summer, the spring really coming. Although in Ireland we had hail as well, and freezing cold, as well as very sunny days. With spring energy, you get this wonderful kind of impulse to energize. It's interesting, lots of people are feeling tired, and yet we are coming into this period, which hopefully should be energizing if we can kind of adjust to it and get in with it. So an Ango retreat. So here's an invitation. I'm going to try it myself. 90 days, about 3 months. Where are we now? Beginning of April. April, May, June. 3 months, kind of starting really with the spring equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere, or be the autumnal equinox if you're down south. What I like about it, certainly the spring one, is you're following this wave of energizing the way with the increasingly long days and the increasing amounts of sunshine. We're being energized by that. And we use that sort of extra energy to work on meditating and training and studying and so on. It's about metapaths, how Druidry can be a metapath, and how you can combine an idea from Zen with Druidry to create a 3-month intense period of working spiritually, starting from the spring equinox or the autumn equinox. I'm going to suggest a course that I developed probably about 7 years ago called Lessons in Magic, which is really about inner transformation and how that can affect your outer circumstances. And it's still one of my kind of favorite works, I think. And lots of people have done it. And we have a thing called the Private Magicians Club that we can meet up in as well with regular meetings. If you're interested, and if you like the idea of this 90-day retreat, you might like to think about whether, if you want to sort of kickstart it by doing this course and joining lots of people who've already done it. And that maybe could be like the beginning of your course. So there's a link to it. It'd be lovely to have you on board. It'd be lovely to welcome you into that. So let's go into a meditation now. Let's just allow all these ideas to settle. And let's home in on the fact that in the Druid tradition, the spring equinox is called Alban Isla, which loosely, not literally, but the association is to the light in the earth herself. So let's see if we can experience that by gently lowering our gaze or closing our eyes to become aware of being seated in our room, wherever we are, all around the earth. And a moment of being aware of ourselves in front of our screen, and then sensing, wow, there are people now all over the world, all around the world. People are tuning in. And now we're going to reinforce that sense of togetherness by allowing the walls, the ceiling, and the floor, our awareness of them, to fade so that we can truly locate ourselves seated around the fire in the sacred grove. Breathing in deeply, holding for a moment, and then breathing out fully. Coming to a sense of being seated in a forest clearing, the trees around us, the sky above us, the earth beneath us. A small fire burning in the center of our circle, gently crackling. A group of fellow travelers all sitting around in a circle together. And just tuning in now to the earth beneath us. And to tune in to the earth beneath you, you might like to close your inner eyes within the grove. So not being aware of the outer appearance of this grove, but tuning into the feeling of the earth beneath your feet. Tuning in, just opening up to the way the earth holds the weight of your body, just supports you and sustains you. And as you breathe in, the energy of the earth just flows into you. This sense of healing and vitality flowing into you from the earth. And as you breathe out, you let yourself drop down just a little deeper into an awareness of the earth. Sensing now all the creatures in the earth, all the life, the amoebic life, the mycelium, all the roots connecting to each other. This whole community of life, the little creatures burrowing through the earth, the worms and the insects, the minerals, all the soil, the richness here, the rocks. And sense too the air here. It's not as if there's no air here. This soil here isn't totally compacted down as if in a drought. It's moist and there's air. Notice how you can sense the air within the soil. And the smells, the smell of the soil. Notice how the air and the smell has this special quality that is just kind of caressing your energy field as well. It's doing something to you and you don't have to analyze it or understand it. It's working to heal you and make you whole. And the water in the soil too, the moisture you can sense now. As your awareness travels deeper into the soil, you can feel more of this moisture. Like a dowser, you may even be able to detect the presence just a little bit deeper down of the aquifer, of the water table beneath the earth. And even if you can't douse or sense these underground streams or lakes or water supplies, you know they're there, and you can sense the moisture in the earth. The way the trees around us are drawing up the moisture. And the way the trees are drawing up the nutrients in the earth too. And you thank the trees and you bless the roots. And your awareness stays with the roots now, blessing them and thanking them. Thank you for anchoring yourselves in the earth, dear trees. Thank you for being my anchors and teaching me how I too can be anchored in the soil. How I too can find peace and stability and healing by rooting myself in the earth. And feel your own roots traveling down and combining with the roots of the trees. The whole community of the mycelium, all the way these fine roots entangle and communicate with each other. And your roots are there too, tuning in at an energetic level. Your physical body may not have physical roots, but your energy body can have these roots, rooting down now into the soil and touching the fourth element. You sense the air, the earth herself, water. But you know there is fire down in the center of the earth too. And even though that's far, far away down there, just see if you can pick up some of that warmth, some of that subtle warmth that's flowing through your roots now. May my roots be energized with the fire of spring. Auburn Island, the light of the earth. May my roots be energized by the purity and the nourishment of water. May my roots be nourished by the air and by the earth herself. May I be fed by fire, water, air and earth, so that all these elements weave together within my energy field. To bring me healing and strength. And you allow the magic of earth to do its work. And you make a note perhaps to yourself that you can always do this exercise at any time, even when you lie in bed just before going to sleep. You can imagine yourself being fed by the earth, air, fire, and water. And gradually you allow your awareness of this nourishment of all the elements to gently fade and settle, so that you're aware of being seated in the circle in the grove, on the earth, in a circle of human beings seated around. And you notice that some animals have come closer. They've felt the peaceful, healing, calming energy. And some animals have crept towards us and are basking in the energy too. And you gently allow your hands to stretch out to either side of you, and you take the hand to the left and right of you so that you feel the group now. The energy and the solidarity of this group, this community. And you sense the way this circle of beings holding hands is just part of this wider circle of life. The circle beneath our feet of the mycelial connections, the circle of the trees around us, the circle of the animals. May circles of love and harmony spread around the world. May they gather wherever they can to generate fields of peace and calm, harmony and inspiration. You gently squeeze the hand to either side of you now, and you let your two palms float down to the earth. You touch the earth. May the earth be blessed. May the land be blessed. May all of nature be preserved and protected. Your palms then drift up to your heart. You place your palms on your heart. And as you do this, you become aware of your body. You feel the warmth and the peace of this meditation within your body. Take in a slow deep breath. Hold for a moment and then breathe out fully and deeply as you allow your awareness of being in the sacred grove to fade. You become aware of being seated in your room in front of your screen. The four walls around you, the floor beneath you, and the ceiling above you. And when you feel ready, you open your eyes. So, thank you so much. Have a really good week in the meanwhile. Much love, many blessings.